Hey, Harpslingers, welcome to the Harpslinger podcast, where each and every week we hang out with the greatest harmonica players in the music business. If you're watching this on the Honer Music Facebook page, there's a little share button down there at the bottom of the chat. Make sure you share that to your own personal page. Help us spread the word about the Harpslinger podcast, about great harmonica players and Honer harmonicas. If you're watching this on the Harpslinger YouTube channel, hope you'll do the same. Hope you'll push subscribe, ding the bell. That way I can keep you up to speed on what's coming out in the future. I have a great list of wonderful artists that are going to be coming on in the next few weeks. And if you haven't checked out the back catalog of the artists that we've had so far, you don't want to miss that because there's so much great stuff. There's some of the greatest, all of my heroes actually so far are there, and more to come. So without further ado, let's do this. Let me introduce my next guest. He's one of the most sought-after and important young harmonica players in the world and has been praised as a Wunderkind since his very first years of playing the instrument. He's also an accomplished composer, recording artist, producer, and winner of Germany's most prestigious classical music award, the OPUS KLASSIK. Here he is, Konstantin Reinfeld. Everybody. How you doing?
Thank you so much, Jamie. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Really looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, willkommen and wie geht's, I guess I should say. How, things are good, yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, all right, good. Well, I'm a fan. I think anybody who is a real, they're really into harmonica, is aware of who you are and is a fan as well. And I think we're just all blown away at your amazing skills. When did you discover the harmonica?
Yeah, if I think back, I think it's like 11 or 12 years ago now. Yeah. So I know that I had like a little harmonica as every little child, being like very, very small. But maybe that was a sign already. I don't know. But it was late 2008 when I watched a TV show in Germany, which is like the equivalent to America's Got Talent. Okay. And there was a guy who played harmonica. He played a Honer blues harp, and he played like evergreens and stuff. Like probably not the music that you would be into as a 13-year-old back then. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't the music that spoke to me, but the sound and the expressiveness of the instrument. And I saw him play, I heard him play, and I was just fascinated by the sounds you can get out of that invisible instrument. And the next day I went to the local music store and bought my first instrument. Yeah.
Which was what? What did you purchase? Do you remember? What brand?
Yeah, I had to get the same model, so I went with a Blues Harp MS. Yeah.
All right, fantastic, great. And you've since moved on to, you still play the Golden Melody?
Well, if I stick to like out of box instruments, I would always go with Honer Golden Melodies. Yeah, definitely.
I love the Golden.
I think I'm not the best in like setting the harmonicas up, but I learned a little bit, and I think I'm pretty good with Golden Melodies.
But, so do you do play out of the box, but you also have professionally set up harmonicas, made for you. Who do you mind mentioning who your go-to person is?
Oh yeah, well that started in 2012, I think. I have some instruments that are like 9 years old now,
all right.
And they're amazing. So I play instruments by Thomas Hanke. He's from Germany too. He's one of the Honer affiliated customizers. And it's like a little mongrel. It's basically just a marine band, but with special 20 cover plates on them because, I don't know, I like them better. My hands are small.
Yeah. I hear you. Right on. Well, you mentioned that being a 12 or 13-year-old and watching America's Got Talent and not necessarily being into the kind of music that you mentioned, evergreen. But I have noticed in listening to your music that your musical tastes are really varied and wide, broad. You have a broad palette that you seem to be drawing from, and you're adept at all of them, which is really amazing. How is it that you're 25 years old? How is it that a young man your age can be so far advanced with this instrument and be drawing from so many influences?
Well, that's an interesting question because it was an interesting path. Like looking back, because in the beginning it was really just about the instrument itself. Like I was fascinated by the instrument, and I just played what other people played on the instrument. So I bought like my first educational like instruction book, which I worked with. So I obviously played some like German folk music too, and went into blues, and I don't know, got pretty good at like learning about the 12-bar blues and playing in different keys. So I just wanted to get better on the instrument. That was like the main goal first, which is not always the best goal, but for me it worked out. So the only other thing that I saw on the internet then, after signing up to the harmonica forums and stuff, was people playing some jazz on the harmonica. And that was the reason why I started to play jazz. It was never the case that I listened to jazz and I thought, oh yeah, I want to play jazz. I want to improvise. It was always just the instrument first. And I wanted to just get better on the instrument and add these like techniques to play the 12 chromatic notes on the diatonic harmonica. So that's why I went with jazz. And only a few years after that, like some electronic artists who really like made the connection between jazz and electronic music just broadened my view like extremely. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're broadening as an artist. I mean, you're a songwriter, you're a composer. I want to talk about all of those things too. But I've noticed that the music that you're putting out reflects all of these different interests. I mean, there's some classical music. There is some very modern, very contemporary music. I noticed that you have some great singers that you bring on board. But I just admire your ability to really focus and drill down and be the artist, and it shows. It reflects in your playing and the music that you're putting out. It's really amazing. So at what
nice
point?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. At what point did Howard Levy enter the picture for you? You studied with Howard, right? And Howard's studied jazz, in fact, with Howard Levy, right?
Yeah, well, I remember, of course, like discovering his videos on YouTube and like the preview videos of his out of box DVD where he composed like 12 pieces for the C harmonica in 12 different keys.
Right.
And that was way above anything I could do at that point. But the first time I met Howard was probably at the Frankfurt Music Fair in 2011.
Okay.
That was the first time when I went there as an endorsee for Hohner, and I remember that I got a little lesson from him on site there, and he was just showing me and another Chinese player, I think, a chromatic guy from Trossing, some diminished scale patterns, and I didn't understand anything at that point. Like it was like way above anything I did up until then. But yeah, that was like the first connection, and then I continued later working on jazz with the Howard Levy online harmonica school. Yeah, and I remember that the first video that I uploaded was like me playing the first basic 251 standard jazz progressions.
Wow. Are those anywhere where you should post those? Would love to see that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like I would love to get back and get access to the account because I mean they're still online.
Okay.
I would love to like download them some way.
Share. Yeah.
Just to have them as a memory, like to get them out in 20 years again or something.
Yeah, what a great memory. Absolutely. Well, you're currently in music school in Hamburg, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm basically done with my master's studies here. But of course, like the final exam, the final concert didn't take place. I was supposed to play it at the big Alp Jazz Festival last summer. And after that, I always still hoped for a concert in front of some people at least. But that never really did work out. So the deadline is like end of March. So I'm playing my final exam on Tuesday next week.
Wonderful. Will that be online or will you be in front of people?
Not really, like not many people allowed, but it will be a live stream.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. So you're getting your master's. You're getting your master's at university, and so I'm curious how that works. Maybe at the master when you're getting your master's degree, it's a little different. But is there a harmonica player on staff at university that you're working with, or are you the one? I would imagine you're the one, right?
That's the thing, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing with like studying music started because after school, I was basically afraid of like not having enough time to make music and play harmonica. So like the only option was, okay, I got to study music, like, and I just happened to play the harmonica. So I tried to apply to all the music schools, like in Germany and also in the Netherlands, some in the US too, just like through online auditioning, which also worked out. But yeah, it's like way more expensive in the US, even if you get like a 50% scholarship or something. So yeah, at the same time, there were some schools who didn't know like what to do with me, and they said, okay, like you don't even have to come to the audition, like. Right. But at the same time, there were some open-minded music schools, and Hamburg and Cologne were two of them. And I actually started out in Cologne then, which is like an hour's drive from my hometown. Okay. But yeah, I moved there and I studied there for 4 years. But there, I didn't have a harmonica teacher at all. Like, I only studied with pianists in the beginning, which was my wish, basically, because I wanted to have the visual representation and the theory, and wanted to make the connection between the harmonica and the piano. So I competed against the pianist during the audition, basically. So yeah, but at the same time, you could study with like all the other instrumentalists there too. Sure. That's even like a thing that they want you to do there. And,
right on.
And yeah, with the bachelor degree, I already wanted to go to Hamburg for my bachelor studies, but they moved out of their building for some time, and the jazz scene, suffered a little from it, but now it's back and better than ever. There's great stuff happening, and yeah, that was the perfect time to go to Hamburg then for the masters. And that's the special thing about the master studies here in Hamburg. Like, you can choose your teacher. It can be anyone.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be connected to the music school at all. And it can be online. Can be anything. You just gotta get in touch yourself and make the deal. So yeah, I obviously wanted to work with Howard, and that finally worked out then. So yeah, for the last like 1.5 years, I worked with Howard via Skype too. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. It's a perfect pairing, and your attitude and your perspective on joining the harmonica with the piano is exactly Howard's technique, right? I mean, it's quite impressive. I wish I had stuck with the piano when my parents, got lessons from me at 6 years old. I just wanted to play baseball, but
But yeah, same. Like, I definitely took a very long break from the piano too. Like,
what other instruments do you play?
Well, I mean, I started out on piano, really like very, very classical, but didn't really like it. And at a little concert that I played with the piano was like not really public, but like just a concert for the students of the teacher. Right. I heard somebody play the clarinet, and I liked the sound. I don't know, I was very very young still, and yeah, started to play clarinet then. I was pretty good, but I didn't really practice.
Right.
That was my problem.
Yeah.
I was like talented and musical in some way, but yeah, only took the instrument out 15 minutes before the lesson. And at some point, we actually started to play like some jazzier tunes, which wasn't really conscious in my mind at that moment. But yeah, as soon as we started to improvise, I preferred the harmonica and took the harmonica out during the clarinet lessons, and I think like my teacher already knew like that it's over.
Wonderful. I love that. It's a great story. Isn't it interesting how you can be musically inclined, gifted, talented, but until the right instrument comes into your hands, it doesn't make quite sense to you, or it doesn't move your soul until that right instrument. It could be any instrument. For us, it was the harmonica, right? But
yeah,
I just think that's interesting. You have to find your mate. You have to find the one that works with you the most. And you did that.
Yeah, I think you got to try just many different things, like with everything, like with work too. And
absolutely.
That's the only way to know.
Right, that is. And you're trying many different things. I mean, you're a composer, as I mentioned in the introduction. I want to actually, let's talk about your songwriting. I know you're collaborating with a partner that you have a band with that's called Reinberger, right?
Oh, only Reinberg, yeah.
Reinberg. Okay, I'm sorry. Right, no ER at the end, right? I'm sorry, my German is scheiße. So you guys are collaborating together. Also, you're composing? Are you co-writing together, or are you bringing individual pieces in and collaborating on arrangements, or all of the above? How's that going down? How's it working?
Well, yeah, for the first two quartet albums, where we recorded with a rhythm section, we wrote a lot of stuff together. Yeah. And there was also the first connection I made with Hamburg, like the first album that I recorded it here in Hamburg in 2012, I think. So that's when I already liked the city and stuff, and made that connection. So yeah, the whole quartet comes here from Hamburg. So yeah, that's how we started out. And like with the last two, or the last album and the upcoming one, we're more like arranging stuff that already exists with that project, and playing as a duo a lot right now. Yeah, sometimes it's a little easier, obviously, to get booked and stuff.
For sure. Hamburg seems to be a really musical town. As I mentioned, before the show, I played there a few times. Love the city. It's a gritty city. It reminds me, it's a shipping city. It's got a little bit of work in it, right? So it's to me as an American, I see it. It's got a little grit, little attitude.
Yeah, the harbor is like very close. Like
yeah, I really and it gets a little
500 meters from here.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right. So you're near the water. Really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play much in Hamburg?
I mean, right now I don't, but I wish, like, when I really completely moved to Hamburg, that was only last year in May, so I didn't really have the chance.
Okay.
So yeah, would be something I'm really looking forward to play a concert with an audience here and just invite all the people that I know now to actually like hear me play live finally.
I was playing in a blues club in I think it was called Downtown Blues Club. And setting up, we used a rhythm section from Hamburg, drums and bass, and they were saying they were talking about harmonica, and they said, "Oh, do you know about any German harmonica players?" I said, "Yeah, in fact, there's one that lives in Hamburg." with Konstantin Reinfeld, and they knew your name, man. They knew, yeah, they knew who you were, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
That's good.
Absolutely cool. Yeah. So tell me about your songwriting process, because I like to write songs, and when I meet other harp players that are songwriters as well, I like to pick their brain and see what their process is. And I always mention, living in Nashville, Tennessee, which is where I live. The big thing is here to do a lot of co-writing, and so you come up with an idea. Or you show up with a lick or something, right? You show up with something to the thing, and you all throw them into the hat, and you see which one sort of wins, and then you go for it. What's your process? Do you do a lot of co-writing? Are you co-writing with your partner in your band, or?
Well, yeah, like so starting out composing. Yeah, started out with the instrument again. Like I really started out on the harmonica and thought, like, what really works well on the instrument, and I built my compositions up on that. But yeah, later it was the piano that was like my main composition tool, basically. Because yeah, I was just very sure, like that's just my mindset that like everything is possible on the instrument. Right. So I just write what comes out on the piano, and then I'll try it on the harmonica. And often I'm like very happy that it actually works great. Like you got to search for the right harmonica and stuff, but right. There's so much stuff. That's also something I notice all the time again when I'm transcribing something. Like there's so many phrases that lay out so well on the harmonica that still nobody really ever played on the harmonica.
Yeah, right on. That's great. Well, you're stretching.
So yeah, that's like the instrumental side. I like to listen to a lot of hip hop right now, and German hip hop. So I have a little duo with a rapper from Cologne, and we are writing songs together. But I'm like more on the production side of it.
Are you writing lyrics as well?
Not really. I wish I could be a little better at it. But in fact, I just recorded my first part. It's in Dutch though.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's okay. You mentioned you're producing, and tell us about that. What sorts of projects do you have that you're working on at the moment?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just working on the hip hop stuff actually. Like we have an EP that will come out in summer. Yeah, but I'm not rapping. It's like only my production. So there's some harmonica in there sometimes. Okay. Of course, I try to sample harmonica. Right now, I'm also sometimes recording for other people, for other producers who are like not like in the jazz world or something, and rather like in the hip hop or like Afro beat world and stuff. Just made a beat last night, which I sent to fantastic artists in Nigeria. So yeah.
Right on. So you're still remaining prolific even during the COVID era.
I try to. I mean, honestly, it's hard. Like, yeah, especially after being reminded that the whole thing already takes over a year now. Right. That just makes changes something in your head. Like, but yeah, I'm happy that I can do all the online stuff.
So are we. So many people in the harmonica community.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm happy about that. So make sure you keep it up.
And I think like the harmonica community is like connecting way better than ever before.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And it's a welcoming community. People are welcomed here with open arms and encouraged to. If you have a question, you can write it in a chat, and people answer it, and there's no snarky comments. It's really,
yeah, that's how I learned online too.
Yeah, it's a really amazing body of people. I'm not sure guitar players are like that. Maybe they are. I don't know. But harmonica seem to be really unified, which has been really nice. So tell me about, I want to talk about the most recent record that you released. It's an homage, I believe, to the late, great Toots Thielemans. Tell me about that record and about making it. What was the, what made you want to make this record? And maybe just expound on that a little bit for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are not too many Toots Thielemans compositions. There are like two famous ones which we checked out, and besides that, we just played pieces that he really liked to play, or where there are like fantastic versions of him playing these songs.
Bluesette.
So yeah, besides Bluesette and Old Friend, which are both Toots compositions, we're playing a lot of jazz standards there, and obviously Imagine. That's a big hit that he always liked to play too. But yeah, it's definitely a different take. Like with the second quartet album, I started to get into working with guitar pedals. And I'm still incorporating them on that album. So yeah, there was a heavy, there was pretty heavy. Like I was heavily into these guitar pedals at some point, and when I was in Cologne, I actually played in a live techno band for some time. And I was using them like extensively in that project. So what we did was we played improvised concerts, like completely improvised concerts. And I mean, you have the choice. Like, there are so many people in Cologne playing jazz concerts like very, very regularly, but probably in front of like very few people. But they are probably being paid at least a little. But what we did, we played these improvised techno concerts in the woods sometimes, like at night, where there are DJs playing like some outdoor raves. And yeah, then you're playing in front of like 400 or 500 people, and people are dancing, which I thought I like that a little better. Yeah. Of course, we weren't being paid, but
being paid in a different way, right? I guess. Yeah. That's fantastic. I love that. It must be do wonders for your improvisational skills, right? Just to be there all night, just hammering on, just making up stuff as you go, letting your brain just sort of flow freely, which sounds freeing and fantastic, actually.
Yeah, because the thing was, we didn't really have like a chordal instrument in that band. It was only drums, bass, trumpet, and harmonica. Wow. So I had to do a lot of the harmonic stuff sometimes. So I checked out all the harmonizer pedals and stuff.
I was going to ask
you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What kind of pedals were you using for that, and what kind of pedals do you like to integrate into your playing today? Which ones of those have you kept on board with you? Well,
yeah, actually, like with the last projects, I'm really sticking to my acoustic tone. But yeah, I'm always really into delays. Like I love delays. Doesn't matter. But yeah, obviously I like to use an octave pedal, like the Digitech. That's the Whammy, where you can also do like stepless bends over an octave and even more and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So that's also nice for harmony. Yeah. And one thing that I checked out, seeing a bassist use it, there was Tim Lefebvre, who's like crazy bassist from LA.
Okay.
I think he moved to LA. I'm not sure, like traveling between New York and LA. And he used how do you call that one? I gotta check. Yeah, it's like it says frequency analyzer.
Okay.
So it's a ring modulation.
Okay. All right.
And it has like a button where you can like focus on the sub frequencies.
Wow. Okay.
And it sounded crazy with bass, obviously.
Yeah.
Like it just blasts of like every speaker, like at every venue, like people go crazy because it's like so physical. That sub bass. And yeah, it's great with harmonica too. Especially like starting with an octave pedal, and then also playing in that low range already, and then adding that ring modulation pedal. That's crazy. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, but that would be great at a rave. That'll drive them absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
Feel it. Their chest. Yeah, I love that. Any other pedals that you're using are pretty much just delay, little you know, I guess a harmonizer.
Yeah.
Just those right on. Okay. Yeah.
Just those. Yeah. I mean, like I think with the harmonizer, there's also some extra stuff hidden in there, like some chorus and.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of amp? What's your gig setup? What kind of amp are you using? What kind of mics do you like to use?
Oh yeah, well I never really played through amps. Only in the beginning when I played some blues gigs, and I also had like a green bullet microphone, like my first microphone that I had to get as a harmonica player. But yeah, right now I really like to use this microphone.
Which is what? What is?
This is a Sennheiser Md 441. Okay. Which is nice because it has like not a little less highs. I mean, we have a lot of highs with the harmonica, so it's a little warmer, which I like. Yeah. And I usually ask for this at the venues, but yeah, I finally got one, so I can bring mine if they don't have it, because
I'm sure a lot of venues.
Then I just feel like way more comfortable.
What's on your plate next? What are some projects that you're looking forward to getting back to?
Well, right now, I mean, the big thing, the big change during the last 2 years was starting to play classical music, which I found a fantastic pianist for that project. His name is Benjamin Nuss. He actually studied classical music at the music school in Cologne. He's a little older than me, so we didn't get to know each other through music school. But at the same time, he's really into jazz and into video game music. That's actually what he usually does. He tours the world playing the music of Final Fantasy with orchestras. Okay. But yeah, the connection is fantastic because he studied classical music and is really into jazz. His whole family consists of jazz musicians. And I mean, I studied jazz and I wanted to get into classical music too. So I could learn a lot from him, and we recorded that first album together at the church. And that was the album that actually won the German classical Grammy in 2019, which was fantastic. Not only for me and for us, but for the instrument.
Absolutely.
A great honor.
I saw those photos on Instagram and Facebook, and I was like, wow, what a wonderful thing to be recognized as a harmonicist at that level.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And you wore a great suit, by the way. You were dressed really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I noticed that there was an artist. The name is escaping me now. Maybe it was this gentleman that you were playing. It was a very large venue. It was more like an arena setting, and you walked through the crowd playing harmonica and walked up on stage. Again, dope suit, really great suit. But you were playing. It was an incredible performance, and it just looked elated watching it. I was like, wow, this is the stage that harmonica should be on. Again, on this side, this large of a what was that?
That was a crazy experience too. Yeah.
What was that event? I can't remember. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was probably the first time for me playing in a football stadium. So yeah, it was like a little special show by Ferdinand Schwarz, who actually he's the guy who got famous through playing Everglow with Coldplay on stage.
Oh, okay.
So there was that concert in Nuremberg, I think, some years ago, where he like held up the sign and he said like, "I want to play Everglow with you" or something. And then Chris Martin actually took him on stage, and they played it together, and was a viral thing on YouTube and stuff. Wow. So yeah, he had his first own stadium show in Nuremberg at the stadium, at the football stadium, and he also studied in Cologne, and we worked together on a lot of songs already. So yeah, at the same time, it was crazy because the weather wasn't like too good. So the band actually couldn't stand in the middle of the field and had to stay safe, like where just the audience sits. Yeah. But I still had to play like in the middle of the field, and of course we were using like in-ear monitoring and stuff. So I was basically, while playing, same as Ferdinand, we were like 100 meters away from the band we were playing with, which is a crazy experience. And for the place where I started to walk on the little stage, there was probably 120 or 130 meters away. So I didn't really have like a connection to the band from there. Uh-huh. And I was just afraid that I would lose the connection entirely. Yeah. Also, it was very cold. That was in December, 23rd of December, I think. So that's not good for harmonicas either. No. So I was afraid that like all of my notes will stick and stuff.
It was a great performance. You were wonderful. It was great.
Yeah, but the thing was, there was like a problem with the recording. So in the end, what you hear in the video, that's like not what happened in the stadium. I mean, because we had to record the whole thing, our solos, like our parts, note by note again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they produced the whole thing again. So I transcribed my solo and played it again at home.
Okay. Hey, well, it sounded great. You did a wonderful job that time.
Yeah.
I love it. The back scene, you know, of show business is always an interesting one. Yeah, for sure. Well,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I hope that you're back in stadiums soon, because you certainly deserve it. And I know more awards are on your way. I can't wait to get back to my band tours in Europe, specifically Germany, quite a bit every year, a couple times a year, and we go through Hamburg every year, it seems, and so we got to connect. I gotta take you out for coffee or something, and come see a show and check out your live performance. And I can't wait. We got to make that connection.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, tell everybody where they can check out you, where they can buy your music, where they can keep up to date with Konstantin Reinfeld. I'm assuming KonstantinReinfeld.com, but anywhere else where they can purchase your music?
Oh yeah, exactly. My website is pretty good. There will be a new one in April. So it will make things easier to check out the music like directly and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm on Spotify. That's always nice. And obviously like the YouTube stuff. I upload there regularly, and I'm live on Twitch 3 days a week right now.
How's the Twitch thing going? I've never done Twitch before.
Yeah, neither did I. Like, it was pretty new for me. So I was happy that like with the start of the pandemic, I could start to do like the actually daily live streams on my YouTube channel, which I started out in German. So in 2020, in total, I live streamed 275 times.
That's again very prolific. That's a lot. That's a lot of a lot of commitment. Yeah.
But well, that was fantastic, and yeah, then I wanted to change something with the new year and stuff. So I went over to Twitch. Just knowing that platform from basically from gaming. I'm not a gamer, but there are some the first musicians that actually took over there were music producers. So I was already checking out some live streams from music producers there, or like beat producers, and that's why I wanted to go over there, because like you have a nice connection there between the viewers and the streamer.
Right.
So right now I'm streaming there in English 3 times a week, and we have like a Discord server which is connected, where we exchange. So that offers a lot of possibilities, and feels great. Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, you're doing wonderful things for the instrument and for your career, and everyone just loves the way you play, and you have such a wonderful down to earth attitude and personality. I just wish nothing but the best for you, and tons of success is going to come your way. Already has, but you're going to be you may be the next Howard Levy.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. I think a lot of other people are thinking that might be the case as well. Well, anyway, it's been a great pleasure to hang out with you. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
All right, man. Well, peace and love to you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you very soon. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the Harpslinger podcast.
You too. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.